can share this. I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's happening as far as the pedophiles, the government. What the hell is happening here? A lot of us really don't have a clue. We just know it's a lot going on, but we can't quite figure out how to piece it all together to make it make sense. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up for y'all. A little something, something. A little something, something. Because really, this is a serious situation, y'all. I doubt if anybody could grasp it all in one day, wrap their head around it in one day, in one short video, or even a couple of short videos. It's not an easy thing to wrap your heads around. But we have to begin to have the conversations. We got to wrap our heads around it anyway. Because we do a lot of talking. Oh yes, my beautiful melanated Asiatic people. Don't nobody talk shit like us. Don't nobody talk shit like us. So, here it is. It's 2020. It's time for us to make good on what we've been saying the past few years. We have to start to make good on what we've been saying the past few years. Peace, what's going on, Sister Cashless? Noble Kadeem. Anise. What up, Jay? Cosmo, what's going on, bro? Dawn. Tanya. Jonathan. Alright, basically, Molech. I'm going to try and... This not going to be easy for y'all. For some of y'all, this not going to be easy. The same way it wasn't easy for people to hear me say that we not black. Or that, you know, we have roots in Africa. We need to be subscribing to some of that. We need to be getting into our roots right here in America, right? But we not black. And as I pulled away from a lot of what is popular and I pulled away from what is common, I got pushed away a lot. I got looked at funny. Friends cuss me, stink, all kind of stuff. But it is what it is. And eventually one day you're going to have to face reality, or you're going to get washed up and washed away. And if you intend on being here, then you got to get your brain strong enough to wrap it around the truth, whether you like it or not. And the truth is that the governments of the world in general, right? In general, these things were not created because somebody had an attitude or somebody had more corn than somebody else. No, these people are alchemists. They are high-level scientists, alchemists. They study energy. They don't create families. They don't just do the boy and girl, I like you, you like me, I'm going to hump you, you hump me back, and we're going to make a family and see what happens, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not doing that weak shit. These people create governments, which means they get land masses, right? And they are able to conjure up, work up, ramp up the energy that is necessary to control hundreds of thousands of minds, of consciousnesses across hundreds of thousands of area square feet. Now, if anybody knows anything about energy, I cut class a lot in school. Some of my classmates are on here. What up, Mark? Y'all know I stayed in the lunchroom. I cut class. I cut math. I cut that shit. But I paid attention enough to know that whenever you're working with space, right? And you're working with a substance, you have to have enough of the substance in order to fill the space. So you're going to have to know your math. You're going to have to do your mathematics. And we are indeed Phoenician people. We are the original Kemite people. Whether we sprung up here in the Americas first, or whether we sprung up in Kemet first, it really doesn't even matter, because all of this was one place before a white man walked out of a cave and started naming shit. Like, he didn't designate who's who from where. Nature did that. And from you look like me and you look like you, we are the original people. Anyway, fast forward, because we live here, this is our planet. We are naturally attuned to it. We have certain intelligence that we are born with. We have certain intel we are born with that allows us to live and communicate and function effectively in our environment, which is why our ancestors didn't have the Weather Channel. They didn't need the Weather Channel. They knew how to go outside and look at the trees and judge the thickness of the tree barks and how fast the tree bark is shedding away from the tree itself to know if they was going to have a rough winter or not. They understood how to go out to the riverbanks and stuff like that and cast certain seeds and plant certain seeds along the riverbanks, and they would know if they saw these things coming up, that they wasn't going to get a good catch of a particular fish. But if they didn't see this particular seed coming up, they knew that the river was going to be full of a particular type of fish and that the harvest was going to be good. So we didn't need certain devices and technologies that we depend on now back then. But one thing has not changed is that in order to have a government, in order to have a society, you have to have people. You have to have people, and the people have to be on somewhat of the same accord. Now, the people who are running the planet right now are not natural to the planet. They are not natural to the planet. They are not natural to the planet. They cannot go outside and say, I think I smell water, let me walk this way. We do that. Some of them do it now because they done mixed in enough that they got some of this stuff. But that's stuff that we do. That's stuff that we naturally do. So because they don't have a good survival rate, right? What they did was they learned the science from us. They learned something from us called Moorish science. I'm going to try my level best not to make this too complicated, because it really is. It's a very ugly, sticky, unattractive truth about our history as melanated people, but fuck it, we here. And no guts, no glory, so we might as well embrace it all. Know the ugly truth, the ugly side. In Kemet, right? Kemet was separated into Lower Kemet and Upper Kemet. Lower Kemet, which was in the north, how crazy is that, right? Lower Kemet, that was in the north, focused on commercial. They focused on marketing. They focused on business, trade, shipping, stuff like that. Yes, Moors. Remember in the Ten Commandments movie when Ramses and them they had that big old shindig they had, and they had people coming in from everywhere. They had the Chinese come in with some silk. They had somebody else come in from somewhere else. They imported a lot of stuff. Lower Kemet, which was in the north, which is closer to the water, was all about business. And Upper Kemet, which was in the south, was all about spirituality. So they didn't so much dwell on, we got to get this money, we got to chase the bag. They didn't do that. They mind wasn't on chasing no damn bag or money that just got created a little while ago. They have been living the whole time, and their whole goal and focus was to restore themselves to their former glory as angelic beings of light. Now, fast forward to about the 14th dynasty, right? The 14th dynasty, the Pharaoh combined the lower kingdom and the upper kingdom. Now, this is the bullshit where it started. They combined the lower kingdom with the upper kingdom. Mind you, the lower kingdom that was in the north, because the lower kingdom is about the lower self. Lower kingdom, lower self. This is how we're going to remember this stuff, y'all. Lower kingdom, lower self, in the north, close to the shores, close to the ports, sailing, boats and everything can come in. It was a deluge. It was like World Trade Center there. Everybody was coming there to do business and everything. So the pharaohs at this particular time, and these are the dynasties that when you go into the museums, you see them wearing the Masonic aprons around their waist. You see them wearing the Masonic clothes, and you begin to understand that Masonry actually comes from Kemet. Masonry is a practice. Yes, and Atlantis, it goes as far back as Atlantis. Indeed it does, because that's where Toe was. Thoth. How I say it, Toe. But yes, the rulers of Kemet, the aristocrats, the people who were in charge, they did magic. They did sorcery. It was not a taboo. It was not something that was hush hush. You needed to keep it a secret. It was something that was practiced by masters, people who wanted to further their education, people who were in the upperclassmen of society. Those were the people who went to mystery schools and actually learned about sacred science, right? Like people today who want to further their education, they go to the universities to learn about math and to learn more about science and to get more in depth on biology and stuff like that. You go to a university. So that's what our people have always done. We always went to universities. We studied. We wanted to know more about our world and ourselves and how to be the best we can be in it, in alignment with nature. We wasn't on no, I'm going to use nature to take over nature. That's white people shit. That's sick shit. We didn't do that. But what we did do is we used our science. We used our magic to destroy and take over ourselves. This is where things get fucked up at, y'all. This is where the shit gets fucked up. But what happened, I'm about to tell you, Rudy. But do you think Masonry should be regularly taught in schools so the public can recognize what the world is partially governed by, if they might understand how they are being misled? Yes and no. Yes and no. I think basic masonry should be taught to everybody, but there are certain things within masonry that should not be taught to everybody, because everybody, it just ain't for everybody. Like, everybody is not a doctor. Everybody is not an electrician. Everybody is not a person who should know too much information about how to control about mastery, basically. Not even though we all should be destined and pressing towards being masters, I think some of that information you definitely have to prove yourself in order to get it. You got to earn that information. It should not be given. It should not be given. You got to let life initiate you and give you some of this stuff. I'm not giving it out. Some of this stuff shouldn't be given out. Shouldn't know it, because it can really mess with a person's conscience, can mess with their psyche, and some people are just not strong enough to handle it. Not everybody's built to be government. Everybody want to be, you got an Indian tribe, everybody want to be chief. Everybody can't be the chief. So everybody can't learn what the chief knows. You know what I mean? But what happened? Facts, Empress, hey, beautiful. Freeman, Okay, so back to what happened, right? They were using the magic, and they used it to usurp themselves by accident, of course, I'm sure, because they probably didn't even realize what damage they had done when they used their magic and their science and their sorcery and their physical strength to remove the feminine from the place of power, and only had men going straight across the board. Now, I imagine that they may have done this. This probably was the efforts of the lower Kemet, because they all about commerce. They all about getting stuff out there. That's penis. Putting stuff out, shooting stuff out, going forward, being aggressive, taking charge. Those are aggressive, masculine actions. Those are things that you can expect in business, right? So after they took the women out of power, right? And they basically made us play a all the way back seat like the children, right? There was an imbalance now. Kemet became vulnerable. The people became vulnerable. And instead of people being ruled or moved by their alignment with nature, instead of people making decisions from their heart and from the space of, I want to do this for everybody, or everybody has to benefit, we all have to be good when I do this move, people started getting selfish. They started thinking, I, me. I want to take over the world. I want all the gold. I want all the land. I want all the power. I want all the control. Right? So, we start traveling. We start getting the hell out of Africa, y'all. We start traveling. We start going places. We start meeting new types of people. New other beings. New other earthlings, right? And we also discovered in our practices that the same way there's an absolute good, there's an absolute purity, there's an absolute love, that there is an absolute darkness, there's an absolute wickedness, there's an absolute defilement and desolation also available in the universe. We live in a dual world. So what they didn't realize, though, is that when you remove the feminine divine from a place of power, you actually open yourself up to demonic forces like Molech. Yeah, baby. Molech is Father God, y'all. I bet you didn't expect to hear that. Molech is who is always in control of world leaders. This is why they always want to kill the children. They always want to kill the children. Let's think about this, y'all. Let's think about this. When Moses was being born, right? Remember? Ramses ordered that all the firstborn children, all the firstborn boys of Israel be, he wanted them dead. He wanted them dead because that demon, that spirit was already present in Egypt, and it was on a mission. It wanted to take over the world. It wants to control every single person, every single thing. It does not want balance. It does not want harmony. Molech, y'all. Molech is Enlil. For those who understand the name Enlil. Enlil, Lord of the Sky. From the Anunnaki. Yes. Enlil. Enlil is Moloch. Molech. In the Bible is spelled Molech. M-O-L-E-C-H. That word also becomes the modern name we know as Malik. Anyway, Malik, right, likes to eat babies and defile nature. Because this God of the air, you have to remember, you have to think about and understand energy from an energetic standpoint. Energy in Lil, whatever you want to refer to it as, whatever makes it easier for you to conceptualize, is the ruler of the air. But the air itself is a very, what's the word? It's a limited domain. It's a limited domain, the air. The air is all around the planet and we can't breathe without it. This is true. But the air doesn't leave the constructs and the space of planet Earth. You can't go up into outer space, bust through that last stratosphere up there and still breathe oxygen. That's not happening. So Enlil feels the type of way that he's confined to this little miserable mud ball that we call Earth. He's pissed off. He's like, why the hell you got me babysitting this fucking mud ball of a planet? I don't want to be here. And I'm not even controlling everything. I got to share power or control of the atmosphere with Enki, who controls the earth. He's in charge of, he's Lord of the earth, the land. We're going to start to make some sense here. I just want y'all to hold on with me a minute. Right? So he got a complex. Molech and Lil, Father God, whichever one you want to refer to him as. I guarantee you the energy is all the same. It all goes back the same way. So in Egypt, wanted to kill all of the firstborn babies. Every time there's a king on the throne, and this king is in midst of trying to expand the kingdom, expand their empire, and also keep in mind that every leader that is infected with this spirit, it's an energy, y'all. It's an energy. So it's not just in one person. It is in all of the leaderships on the planet. This is why the shadow government is all over the planet. And this is how Satan will rule the world, because he has taken over the consciousnesses of the leaders of the land. Nigga, hijacked the whole planet. Hijacked the whole planet. And he got y'all to do it by convincing you that he loves you so much. He loves you so much. I love you so much. I got one child and I'm going to send him to the earth and kill him because I love you. If that don't sound like a crazy person to y'all? Wait. I love y'all so much. I have only the best intentions for y'all so much that I'm going to come down to earth as somebody else and be myself and then kill that nigga. Or let y'all kill him and kill me. It's straight corruption and confusion going on, because that's what Molech does. He is a god, a carcinogen demon or god, lower level god, right? That the people used to venerate during times of war. They used to make the children walk through fire, or during times of war, they would just kill the children violently. They had several different types of rituals that they would perform in order to appease this deity, Molech. Which is why this nigga also told, who was it he told to take his son up to the mountain? What was it? Abraham? Told Abraham, if you really love me, prove yourself to me. Take your son up to the mountain and sacrifice him to me. Killing babies, killing kids. Oh, but I love you so much, so I'm going to fake put a ram in the bush so you don't have to do that. But really what happened in that situation, y'all, the Bible doesn't make it clear, and the church would never teach it to you like this because they can't. Because they don't know. Most of them don't know. They're under the brainwashing. Isaac was the son that he was about to sacrifice. So Abraham is the father. Veronica. Yeah, Abraham is the dad. Isaac is the son. It was them. Yeah. They can't, because they're indoctrinated a certain type of way already. So they are not going to understand and see that this God that they love is constantly sending his children to be slaughtered. He even says so in the New Testament. He says, ye are my sheep of the pasture. Then he says, y'all are sheep being led to the slaughter. He's like, come. Suffer not the little children. Y'all don't get it yet? Suffer not the children. Come as babies. He wants you to come with your innocence. Come with your innocence, your whole heart, your goodness, because it's that good energy that they use and they transmute that to do wickedness that they've been doing. I want us to really look at how history works and how these things prove themselves to be true. They say not Mansa Musa. Yes, Mansa Musa. They say Mansa Musa is also King Solomon, right? That, King Solomon is Mansa Musa. They also say that King Solomon used to also worship Molech. Yes, King Solomon killed babies and offered them as sacrifices in the mountain of Hinnon, aka the Valley of the Children. Because that's where people used to go to sacrifice their children. And King Solomon had built the temple there. This is how these world powers, This is how these world governments, these world powers, these leaders that a lot of men, and I want the men to hear this, because this thing targets y'all. This entity, this energy, it targets men because men are naturally aggressive. Men naturally want to get out in the world. Men naturally defend. Men naturally want to conquer certain things. So this entity, if you guys are not grounded in reality and you do not have a strong spiritual relationship with yourself and with your roots, this entity loves to take over men. Do you notice how every one of our leaders, almost every single last one of them, got sexual deviance going on with them, and after you die, you find out that they was messing around with little fucking girls? Or after they locked up somewhere, you find out that they was messing around with younger children. They interfering. Because it's a spirit. It's a spirit. It's a spirit that wants to take over and control this planet. Because it is not natural to the planet. And it wants to rule the planet, and it wants to rule you. Wants to rule us. Evidently. Now, on that note, while I'm talking about taking over the men and ruling the men, I made a post the other day about Minister Louis Farrakhan, and a lot of people got upset. And y'all just gonna have to be mad, because the people that got Louis Farrakhan, brother Louis Farrakhan, let me get this straight. Let me straighten this out first with y'all. I don't want y'all to think I'm just bad talking the minister, because that's not the case. I understand a minister is a human being. He is a man, and he is not exempt nor impervious from being attacked from these evil spirits that have been roaming the planet trying to take us off of our jurisdiction and out our dean from the day they erected or arrived here. This is a fight that is very old. It's nothing personal against brother Louis Farrakhan, because this thing is out of his control. The fight is older than him. But he gave into it. He sold out. He did. Let me plug in my phone. He sold out, y'all. And guess what? It's okay. It's all right that he sold out, because he probably did it to save his life. More than likely, he did it to save his life. Because like I keep saying to y'all, I keep telling y'all, this is America. This is the United States of America. When you look like me, you are not allowed to talk about nationality. They will kill you for that. They will kill you for that. Let me rope this back in, y'all, with Molech, Louis Farrakhan, the United States of America. All this shit is connected. All of this shit is connected. All of it is connected. All of it. Because the leaders who worship Molech, the world powers, the governors in them, narcissistic demons are in some of these black. Yes, narcissist demons are in these. Yes. Farrakhan, yes, Chung. He conning people. He conning people because he don't want to die. The man don't want to die. He know what he up against, but he himself, this is what I pick up. This is what I pick up in my spirit. Seriously. This is what I pick up. Y'all don't got to agree with me. I don't give a fuck. But this is what I pick up. Genetically, he may not contain enough rebel blood. Louis Farrakhan himself may not carry enough warrior blood and enough rebel native blood, pure native blood, in order for him to actually be able to say no to these people. He probably couldn't help but get caught up, because everything on the planet wants to live. Everything wants some place to be. Everywhere wants to be accepted by somebody. So him being of mixed descent, right? His dad is Jewish. His father's a freaking bum-ass Zionist nigga. His mom, they from the Anglo-Saxon Caribbean countries, meaning they don't know nothing about their history. They don't know anything about their history. You have islands in the Caribbean where they literally tell the people there was nobody on this patch of land before King George got here. And when King George came, that's when we finally started to populate the place with people. So all of y'all originally belonged to the king. This is the bullshit that they tell those people on those Anglo-Saxon islands like Bermuda and other places like that. They make the people believe that they really don't come from nowhere but slavery. So if he comes from that kind of ancestry, if he comes from that kind of upbringing, then he never heard that he had Indian in his family. He never heard that. He didn't know nothing. He don't know nothing about that. He doesn't know anything about being a native. And that part of him is probably very sleep and dormant. Well, by now, it may even be gone. But in his younger years, when he was just being a man, just being a human being, trying to find his way in the world, like most men, looking for accolades, looking for approval, looking for attention that he didn't get from his father, looking for patterns and sets, things that he can follow that's going to lead him to be an upstanding man that he didn't get from his natural father. He saw those things somewhere else. And him being somebody who had a serious deep need was easy prey. Easy prey. Easy prey for the followers of Molech and them to grab a hold of, scoop them under his wing, and make sure don't nothing happen to him as long as he do what they tell him to do. And he's going to do what they tell him to do because he never been embraced by masculinity before. He never had a father to love him, his natural father to love him and embrace him and show him certain things. So here come NOI and FOI type people or whatever the case is, embracing him and loving him where he's at. It was easy for them to take him astray. Easy. Farrakhan got indoctrinated into the Malekian transfer. You on point. He just punted out years ago. The whole NOI was concocted. Oh yes, the whole thing is concocted. Any organization in the United States of America, any organization in the United States of America that is indeed a child of the state, it is concocted by the state. They're not letting you have anything up in here that's going to take them out of power. They're not going to let you have a little place to be comfortable at where you can talk to your people about being themselves for real. No. Louis Farrakhan is not allowed to do that. He is a Mason. He is a free and accepted Mason. I don't think y'all understand what that means. He ain't no Prince Hall Mason, y'all. He didn't go to the Mason Hall with your granddaddy and them. My granddaddy ain't that far up in the game. Nope. Free and accepted? Free and accepted by whom? Free and accepted by whom, y'all? They said the goal was to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. Indeed. Yeah. The Masons. All right. So we was talking about Molech and the rulers and stuff, right? I'm going to tie this all up for y'all real quick. I'm going to make another video more in depth and more, better. But I'm going to just run this through right quick. This Molechian spirit, right? This demon, this energy that wants to take over the whole entire world, right? When Ptolemy Soter, the Ptolemies, I'm going to give y'all an ugly truth, y'all. The Ptolemies, remember Cleopatra's great-great-great-grandfather? The dude was a general. He was a Greek general who used to lieutenant and general and everything in the Kemetic army. And they had won some wars and everything was looking good. So him being a general, you got to pay your generals well. He gave him a nice piece of the land, a nice piece of Kemet right off of the agency. So he had him a nice little spot, a little district He wanted to be king and empire of that damn district so fucking bad. He wanted to be just like the pharaohs in the mainland. So, mind you, all these people do magic. All of these people are magicians, for lack of a better term. They're all magicians. So they got together this nice little formula, since they are already practicing Saturnalia, right? They already was practicing Saturnalia. They just took this thing up to a more intense level. They took it to a more intense level. They didn't just want to celebrate and be grateful a little, like every, so many months or whatever for whatever harvest and shit like that, and discipline and time and stuff like that, agriculture or whatever. No, they wanted it all. So they had to bring that energy from Saturn. They had to condense it and make it heavy and bring it down to earth so it can inhabit them and actually make them do what it is they want to do. This is how people be getting themselves in trouble when they try to control things that you're not supposed to try to control, especially controlling it for reasons that aren't in alignment with nature. To want to control everything on the planet is not natural. That's not a natural thing to want. So from the very nature of it, the very nature of such an intent, the very nature of such a request was their doom anyway. So anyway, when Kemet started breaking up, right? When Kemet started dissolving because too many foreigners was coming in and the Kemetic culture was dispersing out, our people moved west. We started moving west. And a lot of us who lived at the northern parts of Africa also was in the district areas with the Ptolemies, because they had that land from Algeria all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. The whole Moorish scene was Ptolemy. So if that was Ptolemy's land, right? If that was Ptolemy's land and the first Mauritania Moorish kingdom, then that means that Kemet itself is bigger than just Egypt also. But that's another video. Anyway, they were practicing Phoenician magic, right? Carthaginian magic. These are the same people who have Hannibal, Gideon. We have warriors, Hatshepsut, warrior queens, Candace, stuff like that. So people understood that there were certain things that you had to do during war in order to be victorious, and they did them. They did them, right or wrong. They did them. But what they didn't do was try to take those rules and extend it over a large period of time in an attempt to take over the world. That's where the Europeans went wrong. That's where all of this went crazy. Because the Ptolemaic branch, right? And the Moors there, because we right by the water, a lot of them became like client, it became like a client kingdom to Rome. And this is why things get real nasty and dirty. You got to remember, Ptolemy was a Greek anyway. He just could not reach certain levels spiritually and mentally because of his DNA. So him being who he was, human being, low vibrational, wanted more than what he deserved. So he teamed up with Rome. He saw they was making some traction. They was doing what they do. So he teamed up with them and he offered his assistance. And some of that assistance that he offered to Rome were the Moors, the seafarers. Commissioned some of us to work for Rome. During times of war and stuff like that, they would send the Moors out to go see what's going on. Relay a message. Come back with some intel. This is how Moors got the name of being dirty. Not because we so much was like on our own. We sided with Rome. We sided with Rome, but like anybody else, any other culture, not everybody was down with that. Not everybody was down with that. But all of us catch a bad rap for it. All of us didn't do it, but all of us catch a bad rap for it. So those Moorish scientists who did sign up to work for Rome and be client knights and client this and client that for Rome, they taught the European the Phoenician magic, and they taught them about Molech, and that's why they were able to come up with the whole Bible stories and stuff like that. They was able to spin all that shit together and make it what they needed it to be, because they needed you to not understand too much of the history so they can get you to move in the direction that they need you to move. Now their plan has been working very, very good. Very, very good. Because with the Phoenician magic, the Romans were able to put together the Vatican Church. They were able to put together the Vatican. They also put together the Ayatollahs. And they constructed the whole Muslim religion thing. And then you got the Zionists and the Jews in there, right? Who know what's going on, but they're sworn in secrecy not to tell our black asses, because this thing, they need it to happen because they don't have no home. Yes, dirty Moors, tricky Moors, yes. Because we took our science and we shared it with people that didn't have no business with it. Not everybody is supposed to learn magic. Not everybody is supposed to learn high science. No. Everybody not supposed to know this stuff. This stuff making y'all crazy right now. I'm watching y'all literally lose your mind. The more knowledge come out, the more y'all go fucking crazy. And y'all can't see what's going on because you too busy trying to process this crazy stuff you done picked up. It's too much for some of y'all. Anyway, those Moors who taught the Jews been eating kids. This eating children thing has been happening since Bible days. This is why we need to read the Bible and pay attention. For those of you who call yourselves leaving church and you know everything, you all the way the fuck woke now, woke your ass back up in that damn book so you can see what's going on here. Huh? Try that, because all through the Bible, God has been telling people to kill their kids for him. All through the Bible. All through it. Been telling people to kill their kids and stuff. So, what y'all have to understand is that this is an old practice. It's old. Jeremiah. The temple of Jeremiah, they killed all the firstborn sons and used their bones to lay the foundation to build a temple on top of. It was a protection ritual. They did the same ritual out in Haiti years ago. They did the same ritual out in Haiti a couple hundred years ago, which is why nobody can really go up in there and do certain shit to them now. They have a hard time. You got to wait for that spell to wear off. You got to wait for them bones to get good and dry, for that blood to dry up and return back to earth. Go back to source. Elites and black celebs, Hollywood, yep. Elites, black celebs, Hollywood, yep. Black affluent families, y'all. Them elites, don't fuck with them. It's only for a chosen few who have approval of the elders to carry the science on to the next generation. Yeah, it should be just like that. And it needs to go back to that, not for nothing. It needs to go back to that, but not before everything gets shaken up. Because a lot of our elders sold us out. They gave us out. Like right now, Africa in a hot mess, y'all. We in a hot mess. Africa is in a hot mess. This whole thing going down basement bad. Because if people don't understand what's going on, you're going to get swept up and washed away. It's going to be rough for you to pick sense out of nonsense if you're not clear on what's going on and who you are and everything. But the Vatican They put the Romans put together the Vatican. They put together the Ayatollahs, and then they began the process of stripping people of their identity through murder and genocide, stealing books, burning libraries. The amount of knowledge that these people have destroyed around the planet is unbelievable. Unbelievable. They destroy knowledge all the time just so you don't have it. Just so you can't get it. So, along with that, they also created, now this is, while they going through the process, they gathering the lands, everything is new, y'all. They never did this shit before. All they know is that Kemet was great, Songhai was great. We had great empires in Africa. We lived in peace, we had abundance. And these Caucasians saw that, and they wanted it. And they wanted it bad because they had a feeling they wasn't going to last long on this planet. You know when you can feel you about to go? They could feel it, y'all. They've been feeling it for a long time. So this is why they don't have a problem going to these dire extremes to do what they got to do to survive. They don't have no issues killing us or anybody else. Africa is chopped up. Africa is chop suey, for real. They is chopped up. They are chopped. Them books in the Vatican, sis, and I don't even want them books in the Vatican. Let me die and come back another lifetime and deal with them books. I got enough shit for this lifetime already. I don't want them books in that damn Vatican. They can keep it. I don't need it. I don't want it. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I know my limit. And if they got it in there, let them keep that shit in there. All kind of aliens and stuff is in them books, girl. All kind of stuff you don't want to believe is in them books. But ever since Cleopatra opened up to the white man, Africa been fucked. It kind of was fucked before Cleopatra. She ain't make it no better, but it was fucked before that. By the time Cleopatra was born, we was already fucked. Because she comes from a family that's not... Cleopatra was only Egyptian and Kemetic because of her mother's side of the family. But her father's side of the family wasn't even connected to the Egyptians at all. Her people was Greek. Her people Greek. So they got the booger for a pineal gland. They ain't got no real pineal gland. They got a booger. That thing ain't that thing ain't catching no light. That thing ain't reflecting no light codes. You know what I'm saying? So we was screwed. We was screwed for a minute. Yo, we was messed up for a minute. Let me tell you where Africa fucked up. Africa fucked up when they took the women down. When they bust up all of our goddess statues. And they took us off the thrones and put us in the damn kitchens. And told us to be quiet. And pushed the man up to the front alone. Like he the one run everything by himself. That's when everything started fucking up. That's when everything started going downhill because there was no balance now in the perceptions and the interactions and the comings and goings of between the heads of the nations and the people and what's going on outside the nation. Bubblegum, pineal gland, yeah, damn double mint, spearmint shit. They got big blow. They got that big blow pineal gland. Yep. So. And they know this, you know, they know that. That's when you see the Kabbalistic tree of life, it doesn't have dot in the middle. It don't have that D-A-A-T in there. It's a big triangular space in the middle of that tree of life where the pineal gland is supposed to be. Because they ain't got no pineal gland. So they ain't got no currents running through that particular part of their nervous system. It's some messages that they just not going to get. You know what I mean? And they know that. They know that. So, mind you, this is Phoenician science, y'all. This is Moorish science. So, everything had to be ruled through the sea, through the currents, shippings, things coming and going, post office, the postmates, wars and stuff like that. That's how they conquered the land. He know he not smart. He know he can't be everywhere at once. So what he do is they intimidate the people on the land. They make the people either kill themselves, kill each other, give up their nationality, regardless of how they do it. The point is to get the native off the land, get the aboriginal off the land. Get him off the land or make him subservient to me. So if they got to take you off your land and put you on somebody else's to make you listen, they don't got a problem with that. Which is why they had slave trades. Because most people are not, they not giving up on their own land. You got to take me out of my house if you want me to surrender. You want me to surrender, you're not beating me in my house. Can somebody come in your house and whip your ass in your house and make you a slave in your house? I doubt it. I doubt it. Nobody can make me a slave in my house. They got to beat my ass and drag me outside and enslave me somewhere else. Because as long as this is my house, I know everything about this house. I know where everything is at. I know how everything work and move. And I got the upper hand. I got the upper hand here. The only way you could be a slave in your own house is if you don't know it's your house. Which is the position they got us in right now. That's the position they got us in right now, where we're slaves in our own house because we don't know this is our house. We listening to people like Farrakhan who want to keep pushing that black shit on us. You're not black. You're not black. That's more Phoenician science. That's more Phoenician magic for you.
Mommy, can I walk up to the store? I came back to ask you.
Okay. The word Phoenician is also where we get the word phonetics from, which is why it's important we get our words right, which is why the laws of nature and the laws of the land are written in a completely different language. It's written in a completely different vibration and linguistic system from the one that we speak commonly amongst ourselves, and we got to realize that. Women could chant a few words and men would drop dead. Yup. We would speak a couple words, probably whisper them bitches, and people fall the fuck out. That's why they don't want us speaking our own language. That's why they don't want us to speak our own language as it is. Because if you know your own language, you know how to speak denotatively to the universe. And if you can speak denotatively to the universe, you understand the roots and the spirits and nature of the words you're using. You can do whatever the hell it is you want, and they can't stop you because they don't have that ability the way we do. They have to lower the vibration of everything on the planet, everything within their circumference, in order to get control over it, because they vibrate at a very low level. So in order to get you to vibrate as low as they do, they got to take you off your whole natural flow. So if you a boy, they're going to tell you you a girl. If you're pink, they're going to tell you you're blue. If you're a fish, they're going to say you're a dog. Yeah. And they're going to make you depressed as hell because you walking around here going bloop, bloop, bloop and drying up. And they throwing bones at you and shit, wondering why you don't bark. They done called you retarded and everything. Made you feel bad because you ain't barking right like a regular dog. It's because you're not a dog. It's because you're not a dog. The same way you're not black. It's the same way you're not black. We're not black. So they got us going through all this shit, feeling all kind of depression and anxiety and fear and pressure, trying to live up to some shit that they fucking made up that isn't even real. And we're making ourselves sick with it. We're making ourselves sick with it. We have to be ourselves. Now, laws on water and space and land. And land. Yup. You got laws of the land. See, we don't live in space, Omar. You know, the whole thing is space. So space consists of water and land. So you got the laws of the water, the laws of the sea, and the laws of the land. And in order to take over, in order to be in more than one place at a time, you need to be water. Because water is in more than one place at one time. And it's alive and it's always moving. So You want to take over? You want to be everywhere at one time? You want to have control? You don't follow things the way the ants do it. You're going to do it the way the tiger do it. So that's basically what they did. They took the laws of nature. They see how water permeates every single thing. And they already know that this following nature stuff works because they've seen how following nature, using the water to create commercial venues and commerce and stuff and connections with other countries and nations. They saw how that worked for us already. So they just wanted to continue doing that. And they did it in a very, very big, humongous, dragged out, you doing too much kind of way. What up, Corey? Illusions. Why she said just men would drop dead, and why is it she's saying that like men don't have that power? I'm confused as to which man or men she talking about. Okay, Corey, it don't matter. It don't matter. And the reason why she's more than likely saying why women would say that and not so much men, because naturally on an energetic scale, right? Not that men don't speak. Y'all talk. Men write songs. Men write poetry. Men are artistic also. But speech and linguistics is something that is a muscle of the right side of the brain. That's something that's more associated with femininity. So, because of the artisticness it takes in order to put something like that together, it's an artistic thing. Not that men can't do it, or that it's feminine. Or that art is feminine. That's not the case at all. It's just a choice of words. Don't take it too personal. We know men are artistic too. Some of y'all is autistic though. I ain't gonna even lie. Right, it's the divine femme. Anyway, you gotta be careful with that, Corey, because that energy right there, this ain't no competition. Boo, 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 boo. It's certain things that men do better than us. Y'all do it more often. Y'all do it better. Y'all do it bigger. It doesn't mean that we can't do it. It just means that that's what y'all do. It's better when y'all do it. So it's all good. Just because we're equal don't mean we got to be the same. Not a competition. Not a competition. But like I was saying, Molech is Father God from up in heaven, who so-called fake lies sent Jesus. He ain't sent Jesus nowhere to do nothing for nobody. That is a lie. That is a lie. Father God saying this is my father. I mean, Jesus saying this is my father. Let me explain this to y'all. When Jesus speaks, he's speaking about higher self and lower self of himself. So when he said, if you see me, you see my father, he's not talking about anything outside of himself. That's the bullshit that the church had to throw in there to get you to not listen to your higher self and actually follow this Molech demon bullshit. That's how they got you. That's how they got you. The space law is distracting humans to continue the lower frequency on the planet. Yep. This is why it's important for men to tap into their feminine energy, to tap into the power. I'm not against men. It's all the balance. Yep. So what she said, put out there, caught my attention. Cool. The Haruan set within, Melvin Cole. Yes, the Haruan set within is what Jesus is always dealing with when he's speaking. But because you don't know that yet, right? They don't intend for you to ever know that. Mind you, these Romans already have the Phoenician science. They got the Phoenicians from the Moors. They got it from us already. Simeon was in there. Remember Simeon from Niger? Simeon, one of the disciples? This nigga was a Moor. He's a Moor. Anyway, the Roman authorities already knew what it was with the magic and stuff. So they said, all right, this nigga Jesus, he over there telling everybody how to be they self and get free. I'm not going to be able to control people if they believe him. So we need to rewrite his whole story. We're going to kill him. We're going to martyr him. And make people worship him since they like him so much. They like what he's saying. Make them worship him. Think he's real. Think he's a real person. This way, they won't even notice that they're giving themselves away. Giving their power away. And are taking on the mark of the beast without even knowing it. Y'all waiting for this mark of the beast shit to be a chip and everything. Half of y'all already got the mark of the beast. Y'all already got the mark of the beast because you don't know you got a God residing on the inside, and that this beast, this shell of a beast, is actually a temple. So from you don't know that, so from you don't realize that, you kind of lose. But now, what's happening, things are moving forward now, right? Things are moving forward. Remember, this devil wants to take over the world. He wants to control everything on the planet. So, he makes his way over to whoever is going to be the strongest person, most influential people. He makes his way into their consciousnesses. In our case, for this time and dispensation, it's been in Rome. It's been in Rome. Trying to rewrite it to help Christians understand it. Yep. The ruling power, like the person on the planet who has the best chance and has the lowest amount of humanity in their bodies, that they are capable to be the most wicked, would be that nigga over there in Europe, Papal Bull, right? The king and Lizzie, the king and queen. Yo, let go of the feminine energy thing. The feminine energy, masculine energy. Corey, inbox her later, man. Y'all can have that conversation another day. Anyway, they foresaw all of this stuff. So they had to. They had to disguise Molech as Father God so that you would trust him and suffer not the little children and bring him unto him. Bring him here. Because that's what this demon likes. That's what this demon likes. It likes children. Do y'all remember about 15 years ago or so, maybe 15, almost 20 years ago, is when like the Catholic churches and churches in general, you started hearing about all these ministers molesting kids and raping people and having sex with little boys and stuff in the church. That's because that energy has been cooking for so long, it can't hide no more, y'all. It can't hide no more. The devil is desperate. The devil is desperate right now, okay? The devil is desperate right now. So it's using the celebrities. It's using how it got to the celebrities is it had to get in the White House first. That had to be during the Great Depression. It was already like a presence here with the Masons, because that's something that came out of Rome too. The Romans created the whole Knights Templar thing. The Knights Templar was like they were goons between Rome and Northern Africa, and those places there had to create safe spaces to keep their stuff. That's where the word trust come from and where banks come from. They had to have midpoints along the road, along their travels, to store their goods and keep their stuff. So they would put their stuff in trust. Okay? This is how we got the Knight Templars. Then the Knight Templars, y'all paying attention? They were all about the Kemetic science, right? So let me find this. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me see if I could get a couple of visuals. The Knight Templars, that's Molech. Oh, and look, I didn't even have to look far. I was looking for the next one, my buddy. Baphomet. The Baphomet. I done got some glue on my brand new cars. This sucks. Anyway, the Knight Templars, because they were into the Kemetic sciences and they didn't want anybody to know exactly what they were doing, they kept these things a secret, y'all. They wasn't like us nowadays. Soon as we know something, we telling every fucking body, and then we wondering why the shit don't work. Cause you talk too much, you done told too many people, and there's just too much going on. Sometimes when you know stuff, you gotta keep it to yourself. Work your little show, work a little magic, get your results before you can say something. And that's what they were doing. But people wanted to know what they were doing, and to keep people away from the Kemetic sciences, they created the Baphomet. The Baphomet is a conglomerate. It's a combination of the goat of Menez and a few other things, alchemical symbols and everything they put together. And they said, we worship the devil, y'all. And this is what he looked like. So they told y'all, this is the devil. And this is what they worshiping. When this is actually a formula. This is a recipe. This is a recipe to the alchemist. To the alchemist, to the adept, this is a formula. This is a formula. This is not an entity, y'all. This is not an entity. Just because it got a head, ears, and eyes and stuff, don't mean it's an entity. This is a formula. This is a formula. This is a formula. This is an ideal or formula. This is an entity. This is the motherfucker that they really worshiping. This is who they work for. But he don't want to be seen. He don't want to be known. Because if you find him out, he can't get what he want. He can't get what he want. So he got to hide himself. But he shows you this. Law of correspondence, y'all. This law of correspondence. People are looking for something. You give them something. It don't got to be what they looking for, but you give them something. You correspond. You respond. All right, so what I was saying, y'all, I'm getting lost. Must be time for me to about to come up off this bad boy. Yep, as below, so as below, as above. Yep, as above, so below. Yep, alchemy. And that's all we need to be doing right now, y'all. Y'all worrying about protesting and shit? Yes, the formula or, for enlightenment. Yep. Baphomet is a formula for enlightenment. It's a recipe. It's not an entity on its own. It's a formula. It's a formula. And all we need to be doing, y'all, right now is formulas. That's all we need to be doing is understand, working the laws of nature. Ain't no running down to nobody main street nowhere with no signs to do shit. You don't got to do none of that. The alchemists, because we already know, okay? Because we already know, we understand that the rules are already set in place. All of the materials and stuff that you're ever going to need is already here. We just have to put things together. We got to make it happen. You don't make it happen by changing stuff necessarily or by adding new stuff to old stuff or by changing the old stuff. What you do is you use the lower against the higher. You use the left against the right against the left. You square shit off. You round it out. You keep rounding it out until you get what you want. This is how you make changes. This is how you make changes. Why you think these people don't give a damn how much you cry, scream, fight, blame them? They don't give a fuck. They done made a whole organization based on your temper tantrums. Can you imagine? They done made a whole organization better to steer you wrong with, my dear, or for your own ignorance. At some point, we got to make the decision to decide to no longer accept being ignorant. We have to not accept that anymore. Like, you got to make a decision. Do you want to know or do you don't want to know? You want to stay in the dark or do you want to come into the light? Do you want to be lost or do you want to be saved? All of those things are up to us. All of those things are up to us. All of these celebrities we see now that's getting arrested and stuff like that for pedophilia, they're pedophiles, they are all infested with that narcissistic Molech demon. They are possessed. And I really believe that when some of these celebrities, when they start coming into the high money and they start getting invited to these parties and stuff, that they if they sign them contracts, they take the invitation that they actually open themselves up for possession by these entities, and the entity going to take the best one. He's going to take the best suited one. So he's not going to go for the entities that nobody cares about, that nobody likes, the ones that don't have no juice. He's gonna go for the Beyonce. He's gonna go for the Sean Carter. He wants Sean Puffy Combs. That's who he want. He want the people with the spice, with the attraction factor, so he can use you to draw you in, so he can get more of what he want, which is children blood. Let me explain something else to y'all about why they sacrifice children during time, stuff like that. If the old kill the young, the old will never come out of power. The old never lose power. The old ways will always be there. You understand what I'm saying? So this whole thing of wanting to be the best, wanting this whole competitive mindset that we've had for so long, it's just a watered down version of this narcissism bullshit that has invaded the planet. I told y'all before in a previous video, this is a molested planet. The planet has been molested. It's young and it's been molested and invaded by older entities from the universe. So even though we didn't ask for this, we better get with it and understand what's happening here. Because it's about to get real interesting, y'all. Real interesting. Yo, you see how they keep that out of the mainstream news? Like that trafficking is showing who was involved. Most of them actors, artists, monarchs are under investigation and being arrested. Hell yeah. They not telling us that. The revolution will not be televised. They was dead serious about that. But who would have ever thought that the revolution was going to reveal that the leaders and your favorite people are actually Satanists for real, and they've been trafficking, molesting, and doing all sort of nastiness to kids forever. Corey, do you remember the commercials that used to come on with the missing faces on the back of the cereal box? Come on, all those faces on the back of the cereal box? Come on now. These people been eating babies forever. They've been stealing the youth, stealing the development, stealing the young energy that belongs on the planet, walking around free, and they've been consuming it, devouring it, eating it, so they can continue to do wickedness. Yup, the milk carton. The milk carton used to stay, every milk carton had a different face on it every week. If it was 100 milk cartons in a supermarket, you turn them things around, it was a different face on every single box. Could you imagine all of these missing children have been either sex trafficked and sacrificed, or sex trafficked and groomed to live through this stuff? Because they found, I don't know how many people they found, but it was women also. And a lot of them were pregnant. And some of those women were children that been missing for the past 30 years. And they found them in this bunker, pregnant. They got babies, and the elites come and pick them out like puppies at a kennel, take them and do whatever they want with them, sacrifice them, because there's no record of these children being born. There's no record of this woman giving birth. There's no record of this woman still being alive. So they're like getting away with all kind of disgusting crimes right underneath our noses, and they keep us confused by bouncing religion in front of us, and then they put your feelings in front of you, and then they put your friends' feelings in front of you, and then they go back to religion. But the one thing they not giving you is motherfucking facts. They don't want to bounce that off you, and that's the one thing we need. I'm about to wrap this up, y'all, and talk myself to death. Should I do some readings? I got some new cards. Look. I got a beautiful new deck. This deck is called Dust to Onyx. I should do some readings on this whole mess that's going on with this country. What y'all think? I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. See, my thing is all these investigations against our people that are starving, and this shit going to been going in since the 1700s. Yeah. Yes. This stuff been going on since the 1700s. Corey, Albert Pike, my nigga. Albert Pike is the one that brought all this garbage to this continent, man. Albert Pike stink ass. I know he stink. He look like he smell like hot dog water the day after hot dogs. Yeah, Albert Pike. He wrote so many books, and he's also the one that negotiated the treaty between the 5 civilized tribes. So think about it. You maneuvered them treaties with them tribes. You made them tribes put all us dark-skinned people off in order to give the lighter ones the deal. Then the deal you gave to the lighter ones, you got that holding on. But they time is up. That's why Trump kicking everybody the fuck off them reservations. Get the hell off. Because those are unlawful contracts. It don't belong to them. It don't belong to them. It don't belong to them. That those contracts are illegitimate. It's illegitimate. So you got Albert Pike doing the underhanded stuff. Then George Washington and them, they come up and they write the contracts. They put the scripts down in the grimoire and everything. Then you get this motherfucker Eisenhower and put the CIA in there. All of this crap, yo. It's like little by little. They just was putting little here, little there, until they got enough of it together. And now they ready to really drop the world on everybody's head. But it's not going to happen. Before you go, can you speak on the Will Farrakhan was talking about? I don't even know what Farrakhan was talking about, brother, because I ain't even listen to Farrakhan. Farrakhan be hypnotizing people. Farrakhan been saying the same shit since I don't even know. Like, his speeches are literally the same. So if you talking about the will with the colors and the lights and stuff that he often talk about from the book of Ezekiel, is that what you're talking about? Then he could be talking about a few things. He might be talking about the mothership coming. He could be talking about the mothership. Or he could be just talking about the wheel of time itself. I don't know. I didn't hear the speech. I don't fuck with Farrakhan like that. I appreciate his efforts for giving brothers a good, a suitable template for their behavior and stuff like that. But I'm not impressed at all. I'm not impressed by it, because all they do is they make men narcissistic and patriarchal. And the men who come up in these FOI and NOI societies, they have a very slighted view of the world. It seems good until you get up in there good. Then you be like, nah, bruh, you fucking bugging. All of them want to be the chief. All of them want to be in charge. All of them is serial killers. I don't care. Farrakhan too. He doing what he got to do to save his life. Anybody who go that far to save their own life, I can't trust them. And if you have taken a life, or you let someone's life be taken to save your own, then I know you would sell my black ass off to somebody who made you a deal. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I heard he got some connects for us and stuff. I don't want them connects. I don't want those connects. Because those connects expect you to be like Farrakhan. And this is something else we got to realize. When you have people of mixed ancestry, or they don't know enough of their history, they don't know enough of their roots, they're easier to brainwash. It's easier to make someone like Farrakhan detach from his true essential self, because his true essential self wasn't ever properly rooted and grounded in anything substantial. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't rooted and grounded in anything substantial for him to hold on to. So it was easy. It's easy to snatch him up out of where he is and make them be this great person, this great sellout for Rome. You know, and that's what they want to do to us. They don't want us to know our history. They don't want us to know where we come from. They don't want us to know who we are. They don't want you to be grounded in your essential self. They don't want you to be grounded because they want to be able to put the pressure on you. Make you fold like it's washing day, okay? They want to make you fold like it's laundry day. That's what they want you to do. So they can do what they want. As long as you don't know who you are, they get to stay in control. They get to stay in power. They get to make you suffer. Work you like a dog while they sit somewhere with their feet up and get fat. And have 6 damn heart transplants in a couple years because they over there eating all the coffee, all the refined sugar, all the food. They want access to everything. So I don't even knock Farrakhan, you know. I don't even knock him. We just gotta use a level of wisdom when it comes to our elders. We gotta understand the arena that they are playing in. The arena that they coming from, the time that they're coming from, so we can see the truth about them. We want to believe Farrakhan is a fucking hero, but at the end of the day, the nigga's still here. All our heroes are dead. All of our heroes are dead. They all get killed. Then somebody said, oh, but they tried to kill him and he survived. Farrakhan is a fucking liar. Ain't nobody try to kill no damn Farrakhan. Ain't nobody try to kill no fucking Farrakhan. The only person trying to kill Farrakhan is the fucking government. Just to see if he would give in. If he give in and they gotta kill him, then oh well, I guess he wasn't loyal. But wasn't nobody really trying to kill no Farrakhan? They ain't gonna let that man die. They not gonna let him die. He does too much. He gathered millions of men on Washington Square. And nobody had violence or nothing. He has way too much influence and power over y'all simple niggas for them to kill him. Come on now, please. Please. If Farrakhan was saying something that really was going to benefit the people, they'd have popped him a long time ago. He'd have been dead back there with Malcolm X and them. He'd have been gone. But he's still here. He's still here and he still know how to get y'all to listen. So, give me a minute, y'all. I'm going to run to the store, grab something to eat. I might grab a leaf and roll up. I don't know. But I got to get some air. I might even talk to y'all from outside. But I'm going to definitely come back in here and grab these cards, these gorgeous cards. Let's ask some questions. We can ask some questions. I'll take questions on anything. You know, we could talk about anything. Regular life. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Your fucking neighbor who talk too much. All of that we could talk about, y'all. All of that. How to get the raccoons. Look, I can't help y'all with the raccoons. Because the squirrels just push my tomatoes over. I'm ready to fight. So I don't know if I can help. I can't help y'all with that today. Not today. But I can help with other stuff. Okay, so... dust to onyx. We do this when I come back. Let me show y'all the front of these. Look at this. Look at that. Look at these images, y'all. Look at this imagery. This imagery is crazy. This is like, this is dope. This is dope stuff right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Oh, 10. All the wands. Oh, yep. All the staffs. These are staffs. Aren't these cards gorgeous, y'all? Like, come on, this is crazy. I can't wait to start using them. 3 of Wands. Oh, that looks sad. It looks sad, but when I turn it over, wow. Can y'all see that? Can somebody else see this? I wonder if somebody else can see what this is. Yo, this is a dope deck. If you read tarot, get this deck. This deck is fire. Look at that, y'all. That's Newt. That's Newt and Gab with Shoe in the middle. That's Newt and Gab. I always thought Newt looked like she was doing yoga. So, alright, y'all. Let me get up out of here. Take a walk. Go air myself out right quick. And I'm going to come back and we're going to pull some cards. We're going to talk some more stuff. I want to bring somebody up here to talk with me too, if y'all don't mind. Bring somebody up in the broadcast. Corey, maybe you come back and talk with us or something. I don't know. All right, so see ya later.